So, since it's taking an eternity and a half to get episode 3 up and running, I thought I'd hold you guys over with a good old-fashioned top 10 list. This is actually one I've been meaning to do for quite a while, so while I keep working on episode 3 for Search for the Lost, sit back and enjoy this brand new video. Sonic the Hedgehog, a franchise that's been a big part of so many people's childhoods, me included. Say what you want about the quality of their latest games, but there is no denying that Sonic has become a staple in gaming, and is cherished by many. One of the things that makes Sonic such a beloved franchise aside from its high-speed gameplay is its huge community of characters that's been built over the course of several installments. And while characters like Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Shadow, and Metal Sonic get plenty of screen time in different games, there's also a pretty big chunk of characters who usually only show up once or twice, and are either never seen again, or just really underplayed. Thankfully, we have games like Sonic Forces that are slowly starting to recognize some of these nearly forgotten characters, but that's only scratching the surface. For this video, we'll be focusing on Sonic characters that could be seen as underrated, underappreciated, or even underused. Whatever the case, they're basically characters that deserve more notoriety. And please keep in mind that these are all just my opinion. Also, there may be a few spoilers when detailing the characters, so keep that in mind too. All that being said, here are my picks for the top 10 underrated Sonic characters. Number 10. Jet the Hawk. Oh no, he has the Tesseract, quick, hide it from Thanos before it's too late! Good old Sonic writers. Finicky mechanics aside, I actually really enjoyed these games, mostly because I love the way the characters were animated, and Team Babylon is a great addition to the Sonic universe. Hover skateboarders who are also treasure hunters. How cool is that? However, the member who takes this spot is definitely Jet himself. Sure, he was a bit of a jerk in the first game, but overall I find him to be quite a delightful character. His whole personality is like an amplified version of Sonic's ego, which would make sense seeing how both characters are played by Jason Griffith. He may not exactly have any cool abilities, but he's obviously the most experienced writer in the whole team, and he looks pretty cool too. And his theme song rocks. Though another writer's game is doubtful, I hope Jet and his team can make a comeback in the future somehow. Number 9. Infinite. As much as it pains me to say it, Infinite is a pretty good example of an overhyped villain. Not that I think he was a bad character, but he certainly could have been utilized better. As awesome as it was to have so many boss battles with him, his quote-unquote defeat just felt really rushed. It's almost like Sega was like, meh, getting tired of this Infinite guy, let's make Eggman the final boss. Nobody's seen that before, right? In all seriousness though, I will say that the game did a great job building up Infinite's character. He definitely is powerful, and is probably one of the very few characters who actually has a kill count, and being the main influence of conquering over 90% of the world is very impressive. Not to mention it's pretty awesome that his powers are basically the reality stone from Infinity War. Jeez, why do I keep bringing up Marvel? Oh yeah, and he's got a great theme song. And that's a lot coming from me since I'm not even that fond of heavy metal or rap. His English voice actor Liam O'Brien brings a very intimidating performance to Infinite. He's pretty cool even if he hasn't done any other important roles in Sonic games. I said important roles. All in all, Infinite was definitely a welcome character in the Sonic universe. Here's hoping that Sega has more planned for him in the future. Number 8. E102 Gamma. Here's a fan favorite. Despite having a small role in only one game, Gamma was a very interesting addition to the playable characters of Sonic Adventure, even if it turns out he was a flicky the whole time. What makes Gamma so unique is the fact that he's the first time you get to play as an Eggman robot in an actual story mode. Not only is that awesome, but it also offers a new perspective that isn't from the good guys. Not to mention he introduces the cool lock-on and fire mechanic that is later used for Tails and Eggman in Sonic Adventure 2. Oh, and his theme song in Sonic Adventure is a pretty cool one. Just listen to how chill this sounds. Gamma was voiced by Steve Brody in Sonic Adventure, who also voiced the Chief and the President in Sonic Adventure 2. Even though Gamma was destroyed and became a flicky at the end of the story, many fans miss his robotic self and feel bad that he perished. And I can agree. Part of me thinks his story ended perfectly, while I also want to see him in another game. Oh well. Thanks for freeing all the flickies, Gamma. You did what hardly anyone playing Sonic 3D Blast could do. Number 7. Shade the Echidna. Now, the really sad thing about this character isn't just that she's not very well known, but also that we probably won't ever see her again. Why? Well, I'll get more into that in a sec. Shade had her first and unfortunately only appearance in the Nintendo DS game known as Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood. I personally haven't played it, but from what I can tell, it's kind of an RPG battling game. In the game, Shade is the leader of a group known as the Nocturnus Clan. Like Rouge the Bat, she is well trained in the areas of stealth, combat, and infiltration. But she's a lot more disciplined and nobler than Rouge. So about the whole not seeing her ever again thing, well, it's kind of a long story, but in short, it has to do with a bunch of lawsuits made by some moron who left Archie Comics. It's honestly a lot of drama to get into, but something about him claiming ownership of every single Echidna character except Knuckles, then he ended up leaving Archie and says no one can use his characters ever again, which includes Shade, who is apparently too similar to one of his characters.
Stop! I get it, okay?
Like I said, I prefer not to get into all the drama since it's way too much. But if you wish to know more about the situation, I'll leave a link below that covers the lawsuits and such. Be warned, it's really stupid. Anyways, I really got off track. In summary, Shade is definitely a cool looking character with cool abilities. Even if we won't ever see her again, let's hope she stays close to the hearts of many fans. Number 6. Chip, also known as Light Gaia. You didn't really think I'd make a list of Sonic characters and not add this delightful little rascal, did you? I've always heard mixed opinions about Chip. Some say he's the best thing about Sonic Unleashed, while others say he's as bad as Omochao. I personally believe the former. What I really like about Chip is they seem to try and pass him off as nothing but an annoying sidekick in the beginning of the game, but then they throw in this really cool reveal and it turns out he's actually one of the most important things in the whole game. And yes, I don't care what you say, him controlling a colossal giant made out of temples and going Pacific Rim on the final boss is literally the coolest thing ever. Aside from that though, Chip is just a pleasant character to have around. For ages and ages he knew nothing of the actual world he was working so hard to save until he went on adventures with Sonic. Only then did he put his all into finally beating Dark Gaia and saving the entire world, which resulted in him giving his life as well. As if fans weren't brokenhearted enough, we get his theme song during the credits.
I'm so glad I met you, being with me wherever, made for each other forever.
Chip was voiced by Tony Salerno, who hasn't done any other Sonic roles but was apparently in a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh episodes. Either way, Chip was a great sidekick to Sonic. Even if we don't see him again, he definitely deserves recognition for helping Sonic literally save the entire world from darkness. Number 5. Chaos Zero. Ah yes, one of Sonic's coolest adversaries who was teased to have a big part in Sonic Forces and then murdered by classic Sonic.
How dare you?
Chaos was without a doubt the biggest highlight of Sonic Adventure. I mean, just the fact that someone can get bigger and more powerful with each Chaos Emerald is pretty impressive. Though Chaos does have a pretty good fan following, he really hasn't had very good spotlight in games as of late. As interesting a villain he is though, to be honest, I never really saw him as a bad guy per se. Now I know I sound like a total Loki fangirl when I say that, but it's actually true in this case. He wasn't necessarily evil, just bent on revenge. I mean, who wouldn't be when you're tricked into thinking the entire world was responsible for killing innocent Chao? He's obviously not going to act friendly to everyone. As soon as he goes up against you, he makes it clear that he's not fooling around, especially with that intense theme song playing. Obviously his grief was resolved at the end of Sonic Adventure, so it's kinda strange that the few times he comes back in later games, they make him seem like a villain. I want to see him help the heroes. You know, be an ally and help fight Dr. Eggman or something. He definitely has a lot of power at his disposal, so he'd be a great help for Sonic and his friends. Oh well, at least we got him in Sonic Adventure 2 multiplayer. Though is it me or does he look a little chubby in that game? Whatever the case, one thing's for sure, and that's Chaos being an awesome character. And arguably one of the most powerful in the Sonic universe. Hopefully he'll make a comeback eventually. Number 4. Tikal the Echidna. Boy, I just realized there are a lot of characters from Sonic Adventure on this list. But to be fair, it's kinda hard to bring up Chaos without bringing up his best Trapped in the Master Emerald buddy. Aside from Chaos, Tikal is definitely my favorite thing that came out of Sonic Adventure. Mostly because we can all agree that she is a way better alternative to Omochao, being a literal light in the darkness instead of an annoying robot Captain Obvious. I honestly wish we could have her as a guide more often. In the wide open free roam world of adventure where it's easy to get lost or not know what to do, finding Tikal in the form of a small glowing ball and hearing her calming voice is definitely more than welcome. Back when I was younger and played the game, her help has saved me from most likely spending hours and hours wandering around like a moron.
Eggman, Eggman, gotta find Eggman. Eggman, where could he be? Has anyone seen Eggman? Big fat guy with a red leather jacket, drives around in a giant cereal bowl, goes by the name of Eggman, sometimes Robotnik, though more often Eggman for whatever reason. I honestly don't know. Where is he? Gotta find him. Or maybe I gotta find a Chaos Emerald in a giant windy canyon that for some reason is in the middle of the jungle. No, actually, I think I should just try to find Eggman. Gotta find Eggman. Eggman, 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 Eggman. Where the heck are you, Eggman? Eggman, come out of hiding. Eggman, you gotta face me right now or I'll make you look worse than you did in Sonic 06. Where's Eggman?
Oh yeah, and the parts I always look forward to were the visions she would give every character. It was so cool going back in time to learn more pieces to the big puzzle. As soon as you hear a theme song start playing, you know you're about to get knowledged. Tikal was voiced by Alara Disler in Sonic Adventure, and then Rebecca Honig in Sonic X, who also voiced Cream and Vanilla. But anyways, Tikal was certainly a great and helpful character to have in the Sonic universe. And just like Chaos, it was cool to have her in Sonic Adventure too, even if she's not much of a fighter. Number 3. Nephal the Dark. Why did I include a character whose only appearance was in the critically panned Sonic 06? Because just look at this guy! That is the most terrifying face I've ever seen on a Sonic character. And aside from that, this guy is just scary altogether. Described as the mind and will of Solaris, Nephal isn't your typical villain who wants revenge or world domination or whatnot. Nope, he just wants to straight up destroy everything. To him, everything and everyone just needs to die. Nephal is usually described as a sadistic, psychotic individual who has no sense of compassion whatsoever. Probably his only flaw is that he doesn't possess much in the area of brute strength, and his boss battles are actually quite easy. But you know, I think that actually makes sense. He's more of a schemer than anything else. It'd be like expecting an all-out boss battle from the Joker. Oh, wait. Every time he's on screen is just such an unsettling moment, and it doesn't help that his creepy as heck theme is playing eerily in the background. Nephal was played by Dan Green, who also voiced Knuckles up until 2010, and boy did he pull off one heck of a scary performance with his character. Still need more convincing that he's an intimidating villain? Well, how about the fact that he, I don't know, literally killed Sonic the Hedgehog? Has anyone, and I mean anyone, ever done that before? If that's not a villainous achievement, I seriously don't know what is. Though I guess it doesn't completely count since Sonic was brought back to life by, no, let's not go there. Yeah. So all these things considered, why haven't we seen Nephal more? Why hasn't Sega had him in more games? Why else? Because he was in Sonic 06. That game got so much backlash that they probably will never use Nephal again. Heck, we're lucky Silver survived that game. Though I did hear a rumor that Time Eater may be some sort of remnant of Nephal's power, but just a rumor. Even if Nephal had his first and only appearance in Sonic 06, he's definitely a character who will stay close to fans' hearts. And possibly their dreams as well. Number 2. Cosmo the Alien. I know, it's kind of lame to include a character from a TV show, especially when it's Sonic X. But hey, I never said this was strictly video game characters, did I? And I know you're all probably sick of the later seasons of Sonic X, but don't worry, I'll try to keep things brief. Ignore that. Cosmo here is probably the only character from the entire show who actually fits in with Sonic and his friends, since she does look somewhat Mobian-ish. I know most people put Cosmo in the same useless category as Chris and Omochao, but I honestly never really minded her character that much. Ignore that. She actually does prove pretty useful in the show, and if it weren't for her, Sonic and his friends would have never known about the threat that would have destroyed the entire universe. Fine. I support Cosmo. Yes, it's true, I really do like these two together. They make a pretty adorable couple, and even a great team most of the time. And the way Tails is constantly standing up for Cosmo and protecting her is so awesome, and an interesting example of character evolution since Tails is usually the one who needs help from Sonic and whatnot. But yeah, she really is the best character to pair up with Tails. I mean, she has blue eyes, just like Tails. They were meant for each other. Who else are you gonna choose to be with Tails? Cream? Let me know how that works. Anyway, enough with the shippings. By herself, Cosmo is a pretty interesting character, even if she kinda gets into trouble every now and then. But it's not like she's around for no reason. She proves to be quite smart, can decipher the language of the Metarex, is familiar with those planet egg things, and turns out to be the key to officially destroy the bad guys, even if it kills her, leaving Tails brokenhearted because he knows he'll never see her again. Anyways, she was voiced by Amy Birnbaum, who also voiced Charmy and Helen in the same show. Another character we'll never see again, but at least she'll be close to the hearts of many fans who were unfortunate enough to watch the Sonic X finale. Boy, that was not brief at all. Oh well. Now before we get into number 1, I would like to first bring up an honorable mention. It didn't quite make the list because it's more of a group as opposed to a single character. And they're technically not that pivotal to the games, but fun nonetheless. Honorable mention goes to the Chows. Seriously, am I the only one who misses these cute little guys? They were so fun to play around with, more notably in Sonic Adventure 2, which in my opinion had the better Chow Garden. But yeah, after Sonic Adventure 2, they were pretty much unheard from. I miss gathering resources for them and boosting their abilities so they could beat the snot out of opposing Chows. It's kinda like Pokemon, only you're not endangering their lives to high voltage and explosions. I for one would love to see a comeback for these adorable little ragamuffins. Hopefully we can get them in the near future. And the number 1 underrated Sonic character is Tails Doll. Haha, just kidding. That thing can go die in a fire. And the number 1 underrated Sonic character is Silver the Hedgehog. Yes, that's right. Call me biased, call me obsessed, call me whatever the heck you want. Silver, in my opinion, is the most underrated and underappreciated character ever. Hence why he deserves number 1. To this day, I'm baffled by the amount of hate this guy receives. Maybe they're still upset about the It's No Use incident of 06, but just so you guys know, Sonic wasn't any less annoying in that same battle.
Here I come, gotcha! Here I come, gotcha! Here I come, gotcha!
I think the majority of the reasons people hate Silver come from the fact that he debuted in Sonic 06, which, in all honesty, is an unfair reason to hate him. I mean, think about it, was anyone really at their best in that game?
If I had to choose between the world and Sonic, I would choose Sonic.
Pull back! Pull back! Pull back!
It's destroyed!
That tornado's carrying a car!
Here I come, gotcha! Here I come, gotcha! Here I come, gotcha!
Oh, and to all the people who say that a psychic hedgehog seems out of place in the Sonic universe, you do realize you're referring to a franchise that involves a two-tailed fox, giant water gods, hoverboarding birds, and hedgehogs that shoot lightning bolts, right? Why is it the psychic hedgehog that seems out of place? Anyway, fortunately Silver is slowly starting to get recognition in games like Sonic Generations and Sonic Forces, which is great, but still, with such a powerful character, it's a shame the games have made such little use of him. Even if Sonic 06 was a bad game, one thing that was definitely a lot of fun was to use Silver's awesome abilities. Usually psychic characters are more about the reading minds and stuff, but I'm a much bigger fan of the moving stuff around aspect of being psychic. I mean, let's be honest, being able to control anything and anyone who comes close pretty much makes you the most powerful character ever. Still not convinced? Well, then allow me to refer you to the Silver Saga from Sonic Universe. I know it's cheating to get into the Archie Comics for this list, but since Silver doesn't have a chance to shine in a whole lot of games, I think it only makes sense to quickly reference the comics. The Silver Saga tells of an alternate timeline that Silver visits, which, believe it or not, happens to be even worse than the one we see in Sonic 06. Why? Because it's completely taken over by a villain from the comics known as Enerjack. I won't act like I'm a total Archie Comics expert, but from what I can tell, he's basically the Doctor Doom of that particular timeline. Now keep in mind that this guy is so powerful that he's able to steal people's souls, sink GUN's entire fleet, and get this, even triumph over Super Sonic himself. Also keep in mind that Silver had to single-handedly go up against this guy. He had some help from the Freedom Fighter guys, but for the most part, it was just him. And he struggled at first, but after a while, he picked up on Enerject's powerful attacks and began throwing them right back at him. A few more hits and he was battered and defeated for good. So, just to put that all into perspective for you, if that doesn't make him one of the most powerful Sonic characters ever, I seriously don't know what will. Now, I'm not saying that Silver's a perfect character, not in the slightest. Obviously, there are limitations to his powers and can only use them so much. That, and he's known to be quite naive and gullible and even short-tempered at times. And no, let me stop you right there. That doesn't make him a little kid because 1, he's only 1 year younger than Sonic, and 2, Knuckles is also gullible and short-tempered. Nobody calls them little kids.
Oh, but Matt, don't you know his hair kinda looks like a...
Even if you still don't like Silver that much, you can't deny that his theme song is the bomb. In conclusion, while Silver isn't a perfect character, he, at least in my opinion, is definitely one of the best. There's so much more to him than what's been shown in the small amount of games he's been in. I have high hopes that the spotlight will return to him once more. Well guys, that's it. This has been my top 10 underrated Sonic characters. Like I said before, keep in mind that this was all just my opinion. If you have characters that you think deserve more notoriety, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'm sure there are a few I missed, seeing how there are just loads of people in the Sonic universe. Now, some of you might want an update on our Search for the Lost series. To be honest, the project has been kinda off and on lately, mostly because my motivation has also been off and on. But I can safely say that we're really getting back into it, especially since I'm looking into getting additional voice actors for the series, which is exciting. We'll have episode 3 up before you know it. And for those of you watching who don't know what Search for the Lost is, it happens to be a 7-episode, at least I think, fan-made web series that gives spotlight to so many Sonic characters, especially some mentioned on this list. If you'd like to check out the first episode, you can find the link at the end of this video as well as in the description. All that being said, thank you all for watching this video and feel free to share with all your friends. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye!
Everybody do the flop!